Today we're going to run through some jobs on Glassdoor. We're going to figure out what they require, and we're going to do a little research into the companies and determine if it'd be a place that we'd like to apply. Okay, so today I want to use Glassdoor for our job series here, and I want to go down to Miami, Florida, and I've already done the search for SQL. So let's check out and see what jobs we have available. We have a database administrator job, another DBA, database administrator job. And then we have, let's see, this Business Operations Analyst. Let's see what that is. Okay, so Business Operations Analyst with Bank United. It says it's actively hiring. We have some rating highlights information, so compensation and benefits. This is out of 4. I don't know what their ratings out of 2.9. Company insights, that's all fine. And let's go into the job itself. Okay, so a business operations analyst ensures reporting of all KPIs, department dashboards, scorecards, and Excel indicators for assigned processes. So we're going to deal with a lot of reporting, KPIs, dashboards, scorecards, and then we have Excel indicators. So we're going to have to deal with Excel, Microsoft Excel, within established time standards. Collect data, perform analysis, and develop reporting to populate established reporting vehicles, as well as special projects and additional analysis requested by department managers. Okay, so there's a supporting role there. You have to support what's already built, and you have to build more. So this is a reporting thing. So we typed in SQL, and we got a reporting job. Let's dig a little further here. Essential duties and responsibilities include the following. Produce assigned dashboards, KPIs, scorecards, Excel indicators within required time standards. So I wonder what that means, required time standards. Is that like some kind of service level agreement? Or are they saying that you need to create dashboards in a very quick way, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on you to get the data out and into reports pretty quick? I don't know. Become familiar with data resulting from critical processes. Okay, so this is operational processes probably, and you need to understand and get familiar with what data is there, so that obvious data integrity issues can be identified. So you're also going to be required to figure out and help identify whenever there's some mapping issues and stuff like that probably. All right, next sentence here. Determine best graphical display for critical measures. Okay, so now we need to have some understanding of how to chart and what charts would be best for different types of data to best tell that story. So that's interesting. We're going to have to not only understand the data, but now we have to understand the business data enough to produce meaningful charts. And so we're moving toward the business side. Creating graphics and dashboard formats to accurately convey process performance. Okay, just more graphing here. And accurately, so there must be some concern that it hasn't been accurate in the past. Interesting. They're putting a lot on this role here. Usually you would collaborate with a business for something like this, and the business would decide if a report's accurate, and you would develop the report, and then you'd ask the business to take a look at it, and then you'd iterate on it until it meets the requirements of the business. But this seems like you're going to decide what's good for the business. That seems a little odd to me. Develop streamlined approaches for gathering data. So now we're in the ETL side of things. We have to actually bring the data together, map it, automating and removing manual intervention where possible. Normally what would happen is a business would develop some kind of Excel report or some kind of Microsoft Access report, and then they would have to touch it all the time. Every day they'd have to refresh or whatever. Then they come to IT and they're like, hey, can you automate this? And that's where we streamline some of that. I'm a little concerned with this position already because it sounds like they want you to be the magician to do all the reporting and everything. So we'll have to see how, you'd have to ask those questions if you wanted to interview for this job and find out more about what they're expecting out of this position. Let's see, develop data collection methodologies, analytic approaches to perform drill down analysis regarding process performance and improvement projects. Again, more data collection, analytic approaches. Now, maybe you are supposed to be working on more on the business side on this one, and you're going to have a developer to work with you. So you would suggest things, and some developer would help you actually do the work. But this role, you're going to need more business side of things here. So this is less of a developer position and more of understanding the business side. Okay, satisfy business line data reporting requirements for various application-specific databases through mortgage services. Okay, so this is Bank United, and so they have they do mortgages. Analyze reporting requirements, provide recommendations, and present findings from the analysis. Okay. Participate in project teams related to their area of expertise and determine production needs with regards to reporting metrics. All right, so this is where you get to actually work with the business. Okay, so let's go down to the education here. A bachelor's degree in business administration or related field, or comparable experience and or training in computer information. Okay, so you need a bachelor's degree. They would like it in computer science or business administration. 2 years of computer related experience, knowledge of or experience in working with reporting and warehouse databases. Okay. Knowledge of relational databases such as SQL and Oracle. So this is why we hit SQL on here. It's essential to know that, I guess. Excellent analytic and problem solving skills are a must. Banking and our financial service industry experience is a plus, but not required. And well, they always want you to have good written and verbal communication skills. I'm really interested that there's only 2+ years of computer related experience, but they really want you to have SQL. But then it seems like this is a more advanced position where you're trying to help the business understand their data. So you have to have some more business knowledge and some deeper SQL knowledge. So something about this job doesn't quite sync up. Now, if they were saying a longer, like, I don't know, 5+ years of computer related support experience, because the experience seems like a lower level job to me. But then what they're requiring of you in order to help them, I mean, someone who understands KPI, scorecards, Excel indicators, dashboards, understands how to graphically display reports to help the business understand the message that's in the data, the story that the data is telling. Streamlined approach for gathering data. You can also do ETL. This is an experienced person. But then they come down here and they say, oh, only 2+ years of computer related experience. So this job is interesting to me. I'm not sure what they really want. I would expect more experience given what they want you to do for the company. Let's jump to a couple more things here on the Business Operations Analyst. So the company, 1,000 to 5,000 employees. It's a bigger company. Obviously, we were in Miami Lakes, Florida. 10+ billion in revenue. Let's see if it has some ratings. This is interesting. So this kind of tells me a little more about this job and how it's written. People aren't completely happy with the senior management, the benefits. So they don't pay as much, and they expect more out of you. And it sounds like they ride you pretty hard here. That's my take. So I'm not even going to go out to the website on this one. But as I'm reading this, there's things that don't sync up. They want more out of you. but they want less experience, which means they're going to pay less. And that syncs up with the ratings for the company too. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but that's how that job reads to me. So if I was going after jobs, that would be a red flag. I'm not sure I would go after that one personally. Okay, so let's see what else we got over here. We've got a full stack developer, same company. Based on those ratings and stuff, I'm not even going to look at that one today. Let's see what else we got. Senior scheduler, system process manager, customer care analyst. Here's a straight up business analyst. Let's see how this compares to the other analyst job we just looked at. So now this is a job for Crunchy LLC. This is in West Palm Beach, Florida. Let's see, Crunchy LLC is an e-commerce retail company dedicated to educating others about the dangers of cosmetic toxins. Immediately, something seems small to me, but let me scroll down and see. Now, small company's not necessarily bad. I was curious. Something doesn't feel like it's a large company, so there's a little more risk when you go into a smaller company. But sometimes you can get better rewards, and you can have a better rounded. Your job may have more things that you can do, and you have more freedom to do different roles. And you can learn a lot more on some of these smaller companies. So there's ups and downs depending on what you're trying to do. Okay, so this first paragraph's all about cosmetic safety. That's what they do. Let's see. This role, the business analyst will play a key role in helping to develop and maintain the e-commerce process. Okay, the ideal candidate has an analytical mind and is able to break complex problem into pieces, ask the right questions, and propose good solutions. It's not just proposing solutions too, but being able to defend them as well. Okay, so far I like how this one's written a little better. As an analyst, that's what you need is an analytic mind. You need to be able to ask questions, and they've got that perfect because you ask the business what they do. You ask the business how it flows. You may ask the developers how the data flows. So you're going to work between both of those, between the business and the developers. You sit in the middle, understanding both sides of it, the business and the development. But you're going to ask the questions. You're going to learn about it. And so far, this is written in a way that makes sense to me. So far, so good. Let's keep going. So they only accept local clients, so no remote here. It's in Stuart, Florida. Essential duties and responsibilities. Okay, so partner with stakeholder across the company. So you're going to work with the business. You're going to work with the sales, the marketing, operations. You're going to work with those and find out more about their needs, where they're having problems, stuff like that. To intake analytic projects. Again, this is analytics. That's interesting. So it's more BI reporting type of stuff again. And then we gather requirements and create project plans to support ongoing projects. Okay. Analyze data to identify. So here's the data. I mean, almost everything's about data. That's why SQL is important. But analyze the data to identify and interpret trends, forecasts, and patterns to best advise internal management on execution of strategic initiatives to help benefit delivery outcomes. So this is interesting here. So this one throws me off a little bit. So now you're supposed to interpret trends. So now you are more of a financial analyst. You're supposed to actually be able to forecast, find patterns. I mean, I don't know if they're trying to get you into the data science side here, but that sentence doesn't fit for me. That seems like a different role. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't understand what a business analyst is. But in my mind, and maybe I'm thinking of a business system analyst. I don't know. But analyze the data to identify, interpret trends. It seems like you're more on the business side, right? The business needs to know what metrics they're measuring, right? And if you're trying to find those metrics or find things like that, it seems more data science type of stuff. Go cluster analysis and go find things. But forecasting, in my mind, is more of a financial accounting type of thing. but there's different business roles that would do that, and they would be called out. So as a business analyst, to be the one making those decisions seems odd to me. So it seems like, again, you need more business side for this. And even some statistics if you're going to do forecasting and things like that. All right, build systems and processes to ensure the consistency and accuracy of data. So build the systems and processes to ensure the consistency and accuracy of data. Now again, the build is interesting because that seems more developer type of stuff. But if you were going to lay out the system, that could be an analyst job and have somebody else actually build it. But consistency and accuracy of data, that's going to be in every data project. I mean, you always want it to show up on time. You want, you want the data to be accurate, which means you don't have mapping issues. You're not missing chunks of data, stuff like that. All right, next sentence, design how to monitor, measure, and understand business performance and build out dashboards. I mean, any developer, in my mind, that can actually help to measure business performance has some real experience, and it should be a higher level position. And that's just my take on it. Because if you understand business and technology, I mean, that's a more rare skill. Now, if you just understand technology, that means you're not going to be able to do understand the business performance and building out dashboards. Now we can build dashboards, but what do we put in them? It takes some business understanding to know what to put into these dashboards. So that's my take again on this. Report finding and recommendations across business functions to leadership team for review or approval. Build and manage existing analytics tools to provide deeper insight into the pipeline and capture key metrics to drive the consultant business. Dive deep into large-scale data to uncover trends, identify key insights that will inform business and strategy. Overall, this is an interesting position. Again, the business analyst seems to be kind of like a data scientist. Is where the last two things I've seen, where you're trying to find stuff in the data yourself, and then next thing you know, tell the business that, hey, this is important, and you guys should be measuring this. I guess analysts, they expect you to dig into the data and analyze it. Makes sense. A lot of times when I think of a business analyst, I'm thinking of analyzing the flow of data, how the systems flow, and optimizing those and recommending some of that. But these analysts I've seen today are moving more toward analyzing the data itself, kind of a data science type of role, and exploring it and making sure and finding new recommendations on what to measure as a company. So that's those. Let's see if we can find something a little bit different here. A web programmer. So we're getting out of the analyst here. Let's click on this thing. So this is Ascendant Commercial Insurance, web programmer in Coral Gables, Florida. All right, so Ascendant underwriter, Florida-based, licensed, commercial line. Okay, so it's insurance, commercial insurance. That's fine. Ascendant executes its business strategy through state-of-the-art software and technology that maximizes operating efficiency. So they rely on their software, and so that's a big part of their company in order to make their profits and in order to stand out from other companies. Okay, so it's looking for a next generation of industrial professionals. Okay, there's nothing in this paragraph. Okay, our web programmer is capable of a full cycle project, including application architecture, design input, site layout, user interface, database design, programming, .NET development. Okay, so this is a full stack programmer. We have database design and programming in there, so that's the SQL part of it. It's also on the .NET stack. We'll have to look down here in a minute. A lot of times if you're in .NET stack, your database is going to be SQL Server. So we'll see what goes on there. The right individual for this role will be motivated and energetic developer, takes initiative, so you got to work on your own, enjoys finding solutions to a varying number of challenges. Detail-oriented, takes extreme pride in his work. So they want you to make sure you do well in what you're doing. They want to make sure that you're self-motivated, and that you can go find the solutions yourself to certain problems. Okay, so here's the responsibilities. Writing well-designed, testable, efficient code by using the best software development practices. That's fine. Creating site layout. Okay, so there's some HTML, CSS. So this is a web programmer type of person. Development of robust and user-friendly .NET web applications. Okay, so it's .NET web programmer. Integrate data from various backend services and databases. Okay, so it is SQL Server and T-SQL specifically to write some stored procedures and such. Now, when they say various backend services, I wonder what their integration tools are, but we'll see here. Creating and maintaining software documentation. That's usually, whenever you're a developer, documentation is always needed. A lot of times people don't get it done because it's the last thing you think about. As you get into bigger companies, you will need to document because your work will get passed off to other people to maintain. All right, so then we got maintaining, expanding, and scaling existing sites and applications. Okay, probably just adding more functionality to those and making sure they run well. Okay, stay plugged into emerging technologies, industry trends, and apply them. So keep up on your skills, basically, and make sure you know what's going on. Is there any new things that are going to help them perform better? Because again, if we come back up here, this sentence here is the sentence that kind of tells me a little more about what they're doing. Ascendant executes its business strategy through the state-of-the-art software and technology that maximizes operating efficiency. So they feel like they stand out from their competition because of the software they have. And so they want to keep standing out. So as technology gets better, they want you to adapt with it and start adding that functionality into their business, into their software. So that's a big thing about this company, it seems like. Okay, so let's see. Our web programmer should possess the following skills and qualifications. Okay, so 2+ years of rapid web development. So we're talking about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, ASP.NET, C#. Okay, that's typical C# web developer, full stack. Okay, proven working experience in web programming. Okay, so they don't want somebody who hasn't done it before, but they're not asking for a ton. 2+ years, it's not a lot. Top-notch programming skills and in-depth knowledge of modern HTML5, cross-browser. So cross-browser, you're going to have to be able to deal with that. It's not just an intranet application, I guess, where you can force them onto a single browser. You're going to have to deal with multiple. Proficient with responsive website. Okay, proficient with following programming languages. All right, so now we've got jQuery and JavaScript, so you're going to have to know some of that. Bootstrap 3, Web API, Angular. So they're listed more on the web development side here. So not just the C# application type of stuff, but some of the the deeper tools in there. Now, deep functional knowledge or hands-on design experience with web services. So you can build web services too. That must be how they're integrating everything. Okay, experience development and testing across multiple browsers and platforms, which is fine. A solid understanding of how web applications work, including security, session management, and best development practices. I mean, anytime you're going to have a persistent type of web application, you have to deal with the session management and stuff like that. Okay, adequate knowledge of relational databases. Here's our SQL, object-oriented programming, and web application development. Okay, so adequate knowledge. They're not putting as much emphasis on the SQL side of things. So this is more of the web development side of things. Adequate tells me that the database stuff they're not as worried about. Object-oriented programming, web application development. Okay. Basic knowledge of search engine optimization process. Okay, so when I hear that, I'm thinking that their web applications are actually customer facing that you're going to be dealing with. So this is definitely not intranet stuff. There may be some of that, obviously. But search engine optimization, now you're trying to get customers to their site and to their stuff. So basic knowledge of search engine optimization, aggressive problem diagnostics and creative problem solving skills, strong organizational skills to juggle multiple tasks within constrained timelines and budgets. Okay, that's fine. You have to be organized. Ability to work and thrive in a fast-paced environment, learn rapidly, and master diverse web technologies. Okay, so this is, most places, you're going to have to work on a pretty intense schedule. It's just part of the job. But when they call it out, you start to wonder, how hard are they gonna lay on you, and stuff like that, right? If they're calling it out, that means they're abnormally, they push you pretty hard. So extremely detail-oriented, self-motivated, and disciplined. Okay. Desired skills, proficient with following programming languages and framework. Okay, so I don't know either of those personally. Xamarin, SPA. So let's do a quick search. What are those things? Xamarin. Okay, open source mobile app. Okay, so I guess we'll be dealing with mobile development for .NET. I'm not sure how much extra knowledge you're going to need for that. You probably want to browse that a little bit before you try to go into a job interview or something. But it looks like it sits on top of the .NET platform. So if you know the .NET programming language and stuff, you're going to be fine. And then this SPA, what is that? Let's grab that one and see what XPA is. Okay. Single page applications, that's probably what we're looking for here. In the ASP.NET Core 3.0. So I'm learning stuff today as I'm doing this. I'm not a web programmer anymore. I'm a database guy. But this obviously leans more toward web programming, less towards database. That's where I'm getting on this. And so this is really outside of the scope of me. But still interesting to look at these jobs and see what's going on here. Okay, so this is a typical web programmer full stack position. It's using the .NET stack, SQL Server, .NET, all that. So this one here, again, this one's outside of my wheelhouse, and this one leans less on data. They even said that. So there's a little bit less, all they said is adequate knowledge of relational databases. So if you're looking at something like this, you're actually moving more into the programming side. Okay, so let's find another one here. Okay, we have an intern, Business Intelligence. This is Boca Raton, Florida. So we're going to see what an intern, what skills they think you need. So SBA communications. Okay, so this has a much higher rating for their company. Let's go over to the ratings. We looked at one earlier that had a bunch of 3s and 2s. This is a bunch of 4s. Now again, people can come here and spam the ratings and stuff, but it might give you general indications of flags that you might want to follow up and do due diligence. This one has pretty good ratings. So I guess it's a 5-star rating. It's a total. This one's doing pretty good. So that right there is very neat. Company, big company, 1,000 to 5,000 employees, $1 to $2 billion company, telecommunication services. So of everything, I'm liking this one from the business perspective. and maybe the culture is good here, and it's a good company to work for. So let's look at this job. Now, again, this is intern, but a lot of times interns lead to a job, and they want some time to understand who you are and if you fit inside of the culture of their company. So, essential duties and responsibilities: assist with miscellaneous administrative duties within the department. Okay, so that's interesting. That's not business intelligence. That's just maybe what interns do. Create databases using vendor data. So that's going to be a good learning experience right there. You're going to be creating databases. So if you're early on in your career, this is going to be good. Query SBA data using SQL and Excel. So this should be pretty cool too. Those are good skills. And so you're going to be doing refreshes, and you're going to be pulling data into Excel to analyze it. You're creating databases for the vendor data. Interpret data of low to medium complexity in order for it to be entered into a research database. But that'd be interesting to know more about. And then other projects and duties as assigned. So this, if you were early into your business intelligence work or career, this might be a good internship to do, especially if you're coming out of college or you're in college or whatever. And so that there's a lot of good things I see in this one. This one's attractive to me if I was in that part of my career. To perform this job successfully, an individual must be able to perform each essential duty satisfactorily. The requirements listed below are representative of the knowledge, skill, reasonable accommodations, and okay, there's nothing there. Education: high school diploma or GED, college degree seeking student. Okay, so if you're in college, and you have some kind of computer science, you're working on that, that's what you're qualified for here. Past iOS development or Android development preferred. Where'd that come from? So up here on essential duties, I didn't see anything to do with development of applications for phones, basically. All right, so proficient in Excel. I wonder what that means. So they want somebody seeking computer science degree, but they're already proficient in Excel. So that doesn't sync up for me. And proficient in SQL, I guess maybe you learn that in college now and you get proficient in it through the course. But usually it takes a little experience to be proficient in both of these things. But it is a data-related job, so that's cool. Ability to read and comprehend simple instructions. Okay. Mathematical skills. Ability to calculate figures and amounts such as discounts, interest, proportions. Those aren't hard mathematical skills. Those are fairly straightforward. So nothing hard there on mathematics. Reasoning ability to carry out instructions furnished and written, being able to read and write and maybe even draw diagrams is always a good thing. Okay. All right, so that's interesting. So if you were in college working toward your computer science degree, and you had some SQL already and some Excel already, it would be a good thing to might be good to have this internship. And it looks like it's with a good company. We could look this one company up here. Let's go see what their website looks like. So SBA Communications. Let's head over here. And now you can find out more about what their company does. So I see big towers. That's the first thing. Central infrastructure, connecting people. Okay, so this is why you need some understanding of iOS and Android, because you're dealing with some phone stuff too. I wish that was not in the way. Oh, close this. Maybe it'll work better. Yep. So there's stock quote, investors. So this must be a publicly traded company. And then, if you're really getting interested in this, then you go into some of these leadership and corporate responsibility and just learn more about the company and see if you like the culture of what they say they are. You never know until you actually get in there and try it. but it seems like they're really reliant on culture in this company. So I think that's all I'm gonna go through today. Next week we'll take a look and see if we can find some other jobs that are a little bit different. Maybe we'll get into some questions you might be asked if you're actually going to an interview with SQL and stuff like that.